what? Because most people, 99% of the people have never heard of iApotheca. Okay, what? And you're talking about pharmacies. What do we do for pharmacies? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we build web-based software tools. So for a pharmacy that they can pay a monthly or annual subscription for, that help them either from a regulatory standpoint or from a workflow and productivity standpoint. So our two most popular tools, one is called the narcotic reconciliation tool, and pharmacies are required to reconcile and perform an audit on their inventory, of controlled substances.
Accountability for everything, yeah.
Absolutely, and it's becoming more and more important with unfortunately some things in the news, where there's some bad apples and there's diversion from pharmacies, illegal diversion and things like that, and the opioid crisis. So there's a lot of topics surrounding the importance of reconciling narcotics, which is only a portion, of course, of the overall opioid crisis, only a small portion, but it's so important to do this. And a narcotic reconciliation is an audit at an instantaneous point in time, two instantaneous points of time.
The auditors or whatever can walk in and say, any time, and say, look, we want to see, you've got to be accountable for us now. And
yes.
They've got to come up that this software you're developing, they can instantaneously or.
Absolutely. Okay. So each and every province pharmacies are required in each and every province or even state in the U.S. required to reconcile either monthly, every 3 months, or every 6 months are the most often intervals. And so you're reconciling the last 6 months of inventory to make sure that there's no missing drugs or you don't have a surplus where it was unexpected. So, and then you're investigating those variances to figure out what might have caused them. And all of this has to be done and documented. And it was a really manual process back in...
would have been, wouldn't it?
Yeah, back in 2014, 2015, when we were first getting started with this sort of tool, it was a very manual process of investigating these discrepancies and documenting the overall reconciliation. So we basically built what's essentially a sophisticated calculator that could bring data in and then allow you to have a number of innovative features to investigate the causes of these variances. So that's the first of the two tools. The second is very straightforward. It's a temperature monitoring device and software. So it's a device that you put in a fridge or just a pharmacy in general, or even a freezer, and it monitors. It's a wireless temperature device, and it hooks up to the wireless internet, and it monitors the temperature within these fridges. So if you're carrying narcotics, specialty medications, or vaccines is a huge one.
Yes.
You need to make sure that those are being held within a certain temperature range. And if they're out of that temperature range for any period of time or a significant period of time, it can cause a big issue, and you can't use those vaccines, and you're going to lose all of that inventory, and it's going to be very expensive.
It's all gone, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, this device takes these temperature recordings and pushes them to our software in the cloud, and it notifies you by text or email if the temperature goes too low or high, or if the device loses connection, maybe in a power outage, or if the batteries in the device are dying and and there needs to be new batteries put into the device.
And you folks have developed this.
We worked with a manufacturer on the hardware side, but we've developed the software that works alongside.
That goes alongside. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So, and we continue to update that and add, new features that can help. Like, in Ontario, all of a sudden you had to send temperature logs to your public health units, and so we built in a log feature where you could print off and sign off on these logs and send them off, and yeah.
Fascinating. So one of the questions I was wondering, so if I go into my local drugstore and my name's Bill, or whatever, and can they just enter something that tells all your prescriptions and everything? Like, is that part of the process?
Yeah, so every pharmacy has what's called a dispensing software or a pharmacy management system. It's their primary software solution that they're tracking everything that's been dispensed to you, but it's specific to that pharmacy only. Okay. It may be different in other countries, but as far as I know, it's specific to that pharmacy only in most of Canada. So that actually leads into the whole idea of the circle of health. We're trying to close out this circle of health in Canada so that different healthcare providers can share information in a format where the patient has agreed to it, and there's technology in place to allow for more of your circle of care, your doctor, your pharmacist, and whatnot, to have a better idea of how to consult you based on what the others have told you. And it's this whole circle of care that they're working on, but it takes a lot of time.